Hey everybody, it's John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope, America's first nonprofit financial services network for the poor, the struggling class, the teetering class, those with too much month at the end of their money. Unfortunately, that means people like you and me. I'm also the author of several books, How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, Rebuilding the Path of the Middle Class, a bestseller, Love Leadership, Banking in the Future, and a new one coming out in the fall, The Memo, and Bryant Group Ventures is my private entrepreneurial business. Here's my guy, Webster, who runs his own business. Part of the topic I want to talk about today, and what you also see, I'm not driving. People often say, are you driving that car? No, I'm not driving the car. I see the audience is building, so I'm seeing you guys signing on. Thank you for getting us over 20 million views in this civil rights movement. Straight talk series, unbought, unbossed, and unbiased, coming at you straight and no chaser, with only you in mind. As you start to sign on, I'll try to acknowledge you. Let me get into this topic because I'm heading to the airport. Hey, Raven, Gilbert, good morning. Brandon Love, hello to you. Demonia Farley. There's a young lady who's inspired this series, this particular video on passion, and I will give her some acknowledgments in the comments. If she signs on, I'll say it by name. Hello, Apollo. But I wanted her to know, and I want you guys to know, I pay attention to the Facebook Live community, and I'm responding to you. I'm heading to Seattle, by the way, if anybody's in Seattle. Hey, Jermaine. Okay, passion. Is passion important? No. Passion's like breathing. I ask people all the time, what are you passionate about? That's like my favorite question. What are you passionate about? Because the Bible suggests be hot or be cold. If you're lukewarm, I'll spat you out. Translation, even God is not like mediocrity. Hello. But what are a lot of people doing? They get up and got up and went. They're going to jobs they don't love. They're in relationships they're not passionate about. They have an occupation they don't really care for. They don't travel. They don't leave their block. They get into a routine because it's safe, because it's comfortable. They've got things that they on their mind they don't say. They've got people they hang around they really don't like. They're existing. They're not living. Right? We're not thriving. We're surviving, and that's no way to live. And that's a door to depression. So, what are you passionate about? Is an extraordinarily important question. I know, now Webster and I have not talked about this, okay, you guys like that. Webster and I have not talked about this, but my guess is, Webster, you're passionate about your independence.
Oh yes, for sure.
And we've not talked about this. I mean, just guess, you're passionate about being a small business owner.
Sure.
You're passionate about making your own way, deciding when you get up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, and even who's in your car.
And it's so true.
My last guess, Webster, is that you really don't like inauthentic people and people who are full of caca.
Not at all.
So you see, this is really not difficult, people. We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And energy really matters. I can meet somebody and read them in 3 to 5 minutes. And that's because of energy, and you got to be comfortable in your own skin. But all that starts with you, loving you. If I don't like me, I'm not going to like you. If I don't feel good about me, I'm not going to feel good about you. If I don't respect me, don't expect me to respect you. If I don't love me, I don't have a clue how to love you. And here's the biggest one. If I don't have a purpose in my life, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Whatever goes around, comes around. So you've got to decide, got to figure out in this lifetime, as soon as possible, what you are passionate about. If you are sitting at your desk today and you're already tired, you guys love that, okay? If you're sitting at your desk and you're already exhausted, you're already tired. The word tired suggests you're not doing the right thing. You know, I was up until 2 this morning working at my desk. But I wasn't tired. I was worn out when I finished. I was exhausted. I needed a rest. But I was on fire with what I was doing. I love what I was doing. I was working at my desk. I love what I was doing when I was reading. I love what I was doing when I went and changed my mind and did some research for today and preparing. Even when I was packing my bag this morning, I was in love with it because I love what I do. Even my problems I invite because they are of my own making, all right? In my house, Sir James and Webster, a couple other friends said, you know, basically, it's cool because, you know, if something breaks, you know who did it, okay? Because it's of your own doing. It's at your own hands, right? Are you in charge of your destiny, your life, your spirit? I don't mean what happens outside of you. I mean what life is 10% what life does to you and 90% how you choose to respond to it. And if you're going to have problems of your own choosing. Be passionate about your life, because what's the alternative? Miserable, it really is not an option. So if you're at your job and you're exhausted at noon, if you're talking about in late, long lunch, leave early, you're looking at your watch. I have employees like that, trying to show them the door. I'm trying to paper them out the door, trying to figure out when I can get them out the door, because I know that they're nice people, most of them, but they mean me no good. They're not passionate about my movement. Gallup has a survey, a world poll, and it shows, it's Gallup's engagement poll. It shows that 14% of all employees in the world are highly engaged. So when I call on Sir James Buchanan, Janae Roscoe, Rachel Dobb, Sharmila Freeman, Latoya is a new member of that team. I call on Jamie Nelson, I call on Lance Trigg, I call on Dave Matthews, call on Dr. Nita Ward, a few others. I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get engagement, Rod McGrew. Whether it's midnight, 2 in the afternoon, Saturday or Tuesday, I call on the same 10, 20 people, because 20% of the people in your life do 80% of the work. You call on the same people for everything. Webster, is that not true?
That's true.
And the rest of the 80% complain, drag you down, and create drama in your life. So the 80% are creating 20% of your value maximum. The 20% are creating 80% of your value. That's called passion. So I know who's passionate in my life and who's passionate in my world, and I'm trying to curate everybody who's not passionate to go do something else. And so when you curate your life and you're doing what you're passionate about, you don't get tired. So it takes 7 muscles to smile and 35 muscles to frown. When people are frowning, it's energy. They're exhausting themselves. So when you sleep at your desk at 2 in the afternoon, it's because you're angry, you're tired, and you're upset, and you're not smiling. Smile at life, smile through your problems. Find your joy. Rainbows only follow storms. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. And loss creates leaders, and rainbows only follow storms. So figure out what you're passionate about. What's that thing that you would do if you weren't paid? What's that thing you do if there was no compensation? Webster just loves people, right? If you weren't paid to do this, you still might do some of this work, right?
Exactly.
Right. So again, we didn't like sync up notes. I'm just talking to him off because I know his heart. And I know he's doing what he's passionate about, and he's got financial independence, not because he's the richest man in the world, but he's one of the wealthiest in the world because he's doing what he loves.
That's it.
And there's a difference between rich and wealth. A drug dealer can be rich, but he's not wealthy. A gangster can be rich, but he's not wealthy. A pimp can be rich, but he's not wealthy. And all of them know there's no future in that. Somebody who's robbing you, taking your money to live your life at your expense, may be rich for a moment, but they're not wealthy. See, wealth is about how you think about life. It's how you think about yourself. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is economic, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind, a depressed condition of your spirit, and you must vow never, ever, ever to be poor again. And if you're going to have problems, make them of your own design. Now, when you figure out what you're passionate about, again, how do you figure it out? Figure out what is that thing that makes your toes curl. What's that thing that puts a nice little tingle on the base of your brain, your cranium? What's that thing that you do if you weren't paid to do? What's that thing that you've always wanted to do? And can you make that a career? Can you make that an occupation? Can you figure out how to do that and get paid for it? And don't say, well, yeah, but it's not going to be easy. Nothing good comes easy. Your 9 to 5 will have to finance your 5 to 9. You may have a job you don't really like right now, but if that job is financing you to then start your business or pursue your passion, then you learn to love that job because it's giving you what you want. Go back to the Gallup stats. 14% of highly engaged workers. Those are your winners. Those are the folks who are gonna take you into the home plate, right? I'll do anything for those people. Then you got 24% of highly disengaged workers. Those are workers who are coming to work, you're giving a speech about how you're gonna change the world or whatever, and they're sitting there with their little pad saying, this crap will never happen. You're paying them to destroy your company, destroy your department, your organization, your group. They're negative people. Half of people are just disengaged. They're at work on Facebook or on work on Instagram. They are doing something else but focusing on that job and focusing on what they're passionate about. unless you're watching me on video, which means that you are actually passionate about your prosperity. Tell your employer I'm actually helping them to get you re-engaged. But that top 15%, that's the game changer. You got to figure out how to get in the top 15% of your own life. How do you get in the top 15% of engagement in your own life? Are you passionate about being a homemaker? Well, become a domestic engineer. Find some partner that you can help to make successful, right? Behind every, this is a traditional statement I'll make, but because this could relate to men or women, but behind every successful man is an exhausted woman, right? But those women are in that role, or those men are passionate about their partner's success, and they're pushing them forward. They found their lane. If you're passionate about raising children, my mother created a daycare, a nursery when I was a child, so that I was her first client, and then she got other clients to pay them to take care of me. See, she was passionate about raising a young man that she thought had the right tools, and she figured out a way to get it done and for other people to pay for it. Figure out what you're passionate about. Don't do anything short of that. But don't give up your old shoes. You get some new ones. Meaning that don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Don't give up your old job, your current employment, until you figure out that what your new thing is, and you make the transition to the new thing, whatever it is. And whatever you're passionate about, you're going to be good at. There's a book called The Outliers. You should read that book by Malcolm Gladwell. It's brilliant. Essentially, it says if you spend 20 hours a week, I think it's 10,000 hours total, 20 hours a week, a part-time job, focusing on whatever you're passionate about, you'll be the NBA player of that genre in the world. You may not be Michael Jordan, but you will be a NBA player level. You take 20 hours a week, a part-time job, 10,000 hours in your lifetime, and whatever it is, you focus on it, and you'll be one of the top in the world, and you'll dominate, and you'll be doing what you love. I'm out. Love you much. Hey, Rakita, my cousin. I'm at the airport. I gotta go. See there? I'm not playing with you. I'm no private jets, folks. I take commercial airlines. I'm out. Bye.